بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد. So tonight inshallah we're going to continue with these masail connected to tahara and water. Not per se water, but to wudhu and things like that, more so with regards to doubt and yaqeen, etc. So the Shaykh says وَالْأَصْلُ فِي الْأَشْيَاءِ الطَّهَارَ وَالْإِبَاحَةِ. The Shaykh mentions two very important qawaid. They are similar to each other, but there's a couple differences, but they are very important qawaid. So he says that the asl fil ashya, the asl with regards to things. So when we say the asl, we're saying basically the starting point or the base, the origin that we start from. The default is that the default with regards to things, with regards to things. When we say things, ashya, we mean tangible things. Things you can see and touch or touch. Things you can point to. These things. The starting point to these things is that they are all, the Shaykh says, at-tahara wal-ibaha. They are all starting off as pure, and they also all start off as mubah, as pure and mubah. Mubah meaning it is permissible to, let's just say, make use of this thing. It starts as permissible in terms of, let's say, usage. We're going to explain it now, what we mean by saying mubah. So he says, the Shaykh rahmatullahi alayhi, at-tahara wal-ibaha. So we said the asl, the starting point, the default of everything is that it is pure. The default of everything is that it is pure. Now, we say it is pure with regards to generally three main things. Three main things. Number one, purity when it comes to doubt. Purity when it comes to, this is number two, jahl. So the first one is shak, the second one is jahl. Jahl means you are ignorant of the thing itself, whether it is pure. Whether it is pure. We're going to explain what we mean by that now, just now. And number three, it is pure when it comes to a difference of opinion. That's generally for somebody who studies fiqh. Somebody who studies fiqh or has the tools to analyze evidences. We say that it's important for him to remember that the starting point of all things is purity. Purity is tahara. So we said shak. We said shak. So shak, we say that a person, either he has yaqeen, we say he has yaqeen to a situation. We say he has yaqeen to a situation. Not having yaqeen to a situation is going to be when it comes to ignorance. Though at a certain point these two resemble each other. So we say that a person has yaqeen towards something, then he has doubt. So he knows his shirt was clean. Now he comes back to it and there's a stain on it. Right? So he's not sure if the stain is from impurity. Number two, a person has yaqeen of impurity. Of impurity. He knows that there was blood on his shirt, or urine drops on his shirt, or his pants. Now he goes to it and he sees that it seems gone. It seems gone. And he knows he didn't wash it. It just looks gone. So in the first situation, we say that the yaqeen was tahara. For the doubt, what is this? What is this stain? Where is it? What is it from? Is it from something impure or pure? We say the asl is tahara. The starting point is purity. The default is purity. Therefore, the stain, you deem it as pure. You deem it as pure. And therefore, you can wear this shirt for salah. We're going to explain a couple things connected to what I said just now. Because I said you can use it for salah, that indicates to a usage of when can we use something that has impurity, or when does the impurity affect in terms of usage. And also I said that the stain, something comes on it, and we say the default is it is pure. We say the default is pure, and now it's gone. That also links to what we mentioned of. No, it's not gone. Now we're not sure what it is. I actually forgot what I wanted to mention there. But anyway, we say that this doubt, the stain, whether it's from something impure or pure, we deem it pure, and then you can use it for your salah or whatever. Number two, your yaqeen is that it was dirty, not dirty, impure, and now you see the impurity is gone. The impurity is gone. So here we say that it's deemed pure now. It's deemed pure now. Right? So we mentioned this mas'ala. Why? Because most of the fuqaha say that if you have the origin of impurity, then you can only have origin, it can only be deemed pure if it is cleaned. If it is cleaned. If you've done something to clean it, or if you know for sure it is completely gone. So it's cleaned in itself. Now you're seeing the stain and it's barely anything left. But we also did mention that impurity can clean off itself. It can clean off itself. So therefore this mas'ala, it basically more so connects with the jumhur, where they say that you have to clean the impurity, or it has to be cleaned in some way or another, whether it's got cleaned with your doing or without your doing, whether it got doing with your doing or without your doing. That's number one. Situation two, when you are ignorant of, you see where it ties up with the previous one. We could say the stain, you are ignorant of what is the stain from. So it ties up there. But we're just categorizing it for better understanding. So here, when you are ignorant whether this thing itself is pure or not, whether this water itself, is it pure or not, whether the sand itself, is it pure or not, then you say the starting point is that it is tahir, it is pure. That's why in the Muwatta of Imam Malik, rahmatullahi alayh, when Umar radiyallahu anhu and Amr ibn As radiyallahu anhuma were walking and they came by a pond, a little, like kind of a pond that belonged to somebody for water. So then Amr ibn al-As radiyallahu anhu asked the man, he said, tell us if any wild animals come to this pond. Meaning the wild animals are impure, the saliva and things, according to a number of fuqaha, and it's the madhab. So then Umar radiyallahu anhu said to the man, don't inform us. So indicating that the starting point is tahara. We don't need to investigate or make it impure. We start off by saying it is pure and it can be used, unless there's clear reasoning for something to be impure. That's number two. Number three, we said it's regards to a faqih. It regards to the asl of things when there's a difference of opinion. We said the starting point, the default of things when there's a difference of opinion. We say, so let's say you have a person who's analyzing evidences, and there's strong evidences on both sides to indicate this thing is pure or impure. Then here, he cannot be sure which way do the evidence point. So we say to him, in this case, you go to the asl. You say that you go to the asl, you work with the asl, and you deem it pure. So the asl helps him to conclude the fiqh mas'ala. Because when it's not clearly impure, when he doesn't have enough clear evidence to indicate impure, then he goes to the asl of purity. Okay. So that's that. We said the beginning of the starting point, the default of things is tahara. Now, we said the default of things is also ibaha. It's also a starting point of permissibility in terms of eating. You see something edible, you can eat it. It starts off as mubah, as halal. It starts off as permissible, not impermissible. This is very important. When things, there's one exception, that is with regards to meat, I'll mention it. Other than meat, there's two situations. But other than meat, the starting point of all things edible is that it is mubah, it is permissible for a person to eat it. It's halal. So there's a plant, you're not sure. There's a plant, you know it doesn't harm. Can you eat it? It's not poisonous. Can you eat it? Starting point, you don't need evidence per se to indicate that it is halal. You need evidence to indicate it is haram. So you say it is halal, you can eat it. You have things that you find on shelves. When there's nothing haram in it, when there's nothing to indicate there's haram in it, it's deemed halal. It's deemed halal. You don't see a cake, for example, where generally nothing impure or haram is used in the cake. You say it starts off as pure. You see a chocolate, it starts off as, I said pure, meaning if something is pure and it's edible, you can eat it. So I meant it's halal, you can eat it. You see a chocolate, it starts off as being halal. until something indicates to it being haram, and etc. So that's with regards to eating. The next thing with regards to permissibility is usage. Something that does not belong to anybody. Something that does not belong to anybody and can be used, a person can use the thing. It starts off as permissible. It's not impermissible that he needs permission first. If no one owns this thing. And also in terms of taking ownership of these things. If no one owns it, it's something that Allah has put on the earth that belongs to everyone. Everyone has equal right to it. It's called mubahat. Everyone has equal right to it. Like things you find in the forests or wild animals that don't belong to anyone. Even the hadith mentions water that does not belong to anybody. In the river, in the streams, you can use it, you can make use of it, drink it. It doesn't belong to anybody. Plants that you find not belonging to anybody in the gardens or something, that's all becoming permissible. That's all starts off as permissible. There's two main, there's also another thing that's permissible. The second situation of things that are mubah, everything being mubah is connected to transactions. Your transactions, your day-to-day transactions with people. Transactions all start off as permissible. You need evidence to prove it is impermissible. So a new transaction comes or a new manner of dealing comes about. You say it starts off as permissible until evidence indicates it is impermissible. Until evidence indicates it is impermissible. So that's with regards to things that are the default of things in terms of usage. When we say usage, we mean using it actually, eating it, or even taking ownership of it. It starts off as permissible. And also with regards to a person's day-to-day things, transactions, etc., it starts off as permissible. There's two exceptions we said. We say meat. So meat, two situations. And we're not going to go into it now because they need some explanations and it has a few other qawaid connected to it. So we'll mention it inshallah when we come to food. But as a start, if you see there's two situations to meat. Meat that is already dead meat. It's already presented to you to eat or to be cooked to eat. And the second situation is a living animal. The animal is still alive. So we say, in situation one, when there's meat brought to you, you are not sure has this meat been slaughtered correctly. You are not sure of these things. You're not sure if this is from a halal animal, etc. Whatever it is. The starting point here is, it is haram to consume. It is haram to consume until you have certainty of it being halal. Until you have certainty of it being halal, except in one situation where there's an exception and there's another qaaidah applied to it. But we'll mention it another time because that needs explanation. The second situation, a living animal. When you see an animal that is alive, you don't know, can you eat this animal or not? You look at the qawaid that are extracted from the ahadith that the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave us as a broad way to analyze what is halal for animals. If this animal does not fall into one of those, the Hanbali fuqaha mentioned 6 or 7 categories of animals or animals, if they fall into these categories, they are haram. Therefore, this animal, when you don't have clear evidence of it being halal, it is permissible to eat. It is deemed halal. You can go and slaughter it or shoot it down, whatever it may be, to make it halal. So when it is alive and you don't have evidence for haram, you say it is halal to eat. When you have meat that is dead, presented to you to cook or to eat, we say it is haram until proven halal, except one situation. We'll mention it another time inshallah. Then the Shaykh says, فَإِذَا شَكَّ فِي نَجَاسَةِ مَاءٍ أَوْ ثَوْبٍ أَوْ بُقْعَةٍ أَوْ غَيْرِهَا فَهُوَ طَاهِرٌ. That if a person doubts with regards to impurity in water, or to his clothing, or to, let's translate it as place of prayer, or anything, then we say that the starting point is tahara. So he deems this thing as being pure. So the Shaykh says, فَإِذَا شَكَّ, if he has doubt. Let's just explain what is meant by doubt according to the fuqaha. The fuqaha say that you have yaqeen, which is certainty. I know for sure that I have prayed 4 rak'at. I know for sure I performed wudhu. I know for sure my clothing has just been washed, it was clean, etc. Then anything other than yaqeen is called doubt. It's different to the ulama of usul al-fiqh. The fuqaha, they say anything other than yaqeen is called doubt. So that's important to know. When we say shak, when we say a person has shak, he has doubt, that means anything other than yaqeen. Even if he has something to indicate, there's impurity on the floor where he's going to pray, and there was an impure animal that walked by, let's say a dog. It indicates that impurity or that stain, that thing that you see on the floor could have been from the dog. You're not sure what it is, so that's doubt. But there's something indicating where it could be from. It could be from the dog. There's a stain on your shirt that you were wearing earlier, and you bled there's a stain near your arm, and you bled somewhere near. So it indicates maybe the stain is blood. That is called غلبة الظن. غلبة الظن. So that means that you have some kind of evidence to indicate which way the rule is swaying. Purity or impurity. Tahara, no tahara. 3 rak'at, 4 rak'at. We say, the fuqaha, many times, they say that you apply yaqeen. Sometimes you apply what I call غلبة الظن, and there's a third thing that they apply which is called tahari. We'll explain tahari another time. But many of the times, or most of the times, you apply yaqeen. You apply yaqeen. So in this situation, when you have doubt, even though that stain may have been from the dog, as long as you are not sure 100%, we say you deem it pure. You deem it pure. You don't go and start cleaning. The moment you do that, you are now knocking on the door of waswasa. Maybe it won't start with you now, but maybe in the future, because you don't apply this principle. So that's very important to know. At certain situations, the fuqaha apply غلبة الظن. Like in salah, in certain situations, we may have touched on it in sajda to sahu, or we will at some point, inshallah. And other situations. But generally, it is yaqeen that you apply. It is yaqeen that you apply. Therefore, the qaaidah is that al-yaqeen la yazulu bil-shak. That yaqeen, certainty, is not changed, or doubt, any doubt. And we explain doubt. It's important to remember what doubt is. Any doubt does not change yaqeen. Yaqeen stays. What changes yaqeen? Yaqeen itself. Yaqeen itself. Some of the fuqaha say غلبة الظن, but most of them say yaqeen. And we are certain that the fuqaha will mention situations when you apply غلبة الظن or tahari. So therefore, we know that yaqeen, shak does not change yaqeen. Shak does not change yaqeen, number one. There's another qaaidah which is qaaidatul اشتباه. Ibn al-Qayyim mentioned that some of the fuqaha, they mix up between the qaaidah of shak, which we just mentioned here, of yaqeen shak does not affect yaqeen. And some of them, at times in some masail, they apply the qaaidah of shak when they should be applying the qaaidah of اشتباه. And sometimes they apply the qaaidah of اشتباه where they should be applying the qaaidah of shak. So we won't explain اشتباه, but we'll just indicate the difference between the two. So اشتباه, we explain it in Zad. اشتباه, so shak is where you have one thing. The impurity could be on it or not. Could or not. You could be in tahara, you could be in wudhu, or you could not be. And as for اشتباه, is where you have more than one thing. You have few buckets of water. You have 3. One is impure, 2 are pure. And you can't tell which one is impure. Obviously, it doesn't apply on what we explained, because you will be able to see or taste or smell the water that's impure. But in terms of fiqh, because other fuqaha say merely impurity touching the water makes it impure, even if there's no change. So here you have all the options are present, but you don't know which one the options apply to. You don't know which bucket of water is pure and impure. So it could be in either. This is the qaaidah of اشتباه. Shak, you have one bottle of water. Is it pure, is it impure? That's the difference between the two. So then the Shaykh says, if you doubt with regards to whether impurity came on water. So we say water, and that's because what we explained earlier. And the Shaykh probably mentions water because water is used for tahara. Water is used for tahara. Then he says your clothing. And he says your buq'ah is basically your place of salah. And he says, or other than it. So the Shaykh points out to three specific things. One is water, because water is important for usage for tahara. The other thing is, he says, your clothing and your place of salah. Because the fuqaha say, we'll mention it in better details in the chapter of impurities. But it is not obligatory to avoid impurity outside of the ibadat that need purity. It is not obligatory to avoid impurity outside of ibadat that need a person to be in a state of purity, that need a person to be free of impurities. So I changed the phrasing because somebody could understand being in the state of purity as in wudhu or ghusl, but remain free of najasa. And therefore, if your shirt has impurity on it, you can wear that shirt throughout the day. Except at the time of salah, remove it. Then after salah, you can put it on again. It is mustahab to be away from impurities outside of ibadah. And another situation is in terms of usage. Usage more in terms of eating. You're going to eat this thing. You cannot eat najasa, ayniyah or hukmiyah. Or this thing you're going to use to put food inside, it must be clean. It must be clean. Other than that, you don't have to clean things. In general, there may be some things we'll mention in one of the other upcoming durus, but otherwise, if there's impurity on your wall, you don't need to rush to clean it for the state of it. It's not religious cleaning it. You can clean it because it looks dirty, but not for religion. Anywhere else is dirty that you're not going to pray on, you don't need to clean it. Your clothing as well, outside of salah, you don't need to clean it. And the Shaykh says, buq'ah, your place of salah. We're going to mention in one of the upcoming lessons, probably in salah, what is deemed by your place of prayer. What is deemed exactly by your place of prayer. And also we'll explain what is meant exactly by your clothing. The third thing that must be pure is your body. Your body is the body, that one there is standard. But clothing has more explanation, place of salah has more explanation. Or anything else, you doubt whether it is pure, or you doubt whether there's impurity on it, you say the default is that it is pure. فَهُوَ طَاهِرٌ. The Shaykh says it is deemed pure. Then he says, أو تيقن الطهارة وشك في الحدث فهو طاهر. The Shaykh mentions another mas'ala, and he says that if a person is in the state of purity, wudu or ghusl, let's say wudu for sake of explanation, and then he doubts whether he broke his wudu. We say the yaqeen is not affected with the doubt. So therefore he's still in the situation of tahara. He's still in wudu because he doubts whether the yaqeen of tahara is affected with the doubt of whether it broke. Right? That's situation one. There's another two situations. He's in a state of impurity. He's in a state of hadath. Let's say hadathun asghar. And he's not sure whether he performed wudu. Then we say here, you go to the yaqeen. The yaqeen is that you are not in wudu. The third situation is, he is not sure, he knows. Here, there's two situations in number three. Number three, he's sure that he performed wudu and he broke his wudu. But he's not sure which one came first. He knows he woke up from his sleep, he used the bathroom, he performed wudu. Now dhuhr came, he's not sure. Which one did I do first? Did I use the bathroom first, then wudu, or wudu, then bathroom? We say, look at your situation before the two that you know of, the two of doubt and tahara, those two. You're not sure which one of them came first. Before those two, what was your situation? Were you in wudu or not wudu? Right? So in our example, he woke up. I said he woke up. So that means he was not in wudu. Then we say, now he is the opposite of that situation. We say that situation. So situation 1 and 2, he's not sure whether it was tahara and then he broke his wudu or went to the bathroom. He doesn't know whether his wudu was first and then going to the bathroom, or whether he went to the bathroom and then he did wudu. So we're going to call those two 1 and 2. 3 is him waking up from his sleep out of wudu. So we say now he is in the opposite of what he was in number 3. So number 3, he was not in the state of wudu. So we say now he's in the state of wudu. I hope that is clear. And so the second situation here is where you are not sure what was your situation before 1 and 2. Before 1 and 2, you are not sure. Let's say the man was awake let's say after Fajr, there was going to the bathroom and wudu, but he's not sure whether he broke his wudu after Fajr or he was still in wudu. He can't remember. But he knows he did go to the bathroom and he performed wudu. He doesn't know which one of them are first. But he doesn't know his situation before those two. We say now he performs wudu. He performs wudu to get yaqeen. Okay? So I hope those situations are clear. The evidence for that is Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said that if one of you is in salah and he doubts whether he passed wind in salah, then he should not break his salah. He should not deem his salah to be broken and his wudu to be broken unless he is sure that he broke. Sure how? By hearing a sound or detecting a smell. Hearing a sound or detecting a smell. So that is yaqeen. Yaqeen breaks the yaqeen. If he hears a sound, he can say it's wudu broke. If he detected a smell, he can say it's wudu broke. Otherwise, if he is not 100% sure, he is 99%. 99 is shak. He doesn't break his wudu. And if a person is not able to smell, you say sound applies to him only. And if he is deaf and he can smell, smell applies to him only. To get the yaqeen. So we end there. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to teach us that which benefits us, and benefit us with that which He teaches us. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين.